Hi, I'm Jeff Morley, editor of JFK Facts, and I'm here with audio expert Ed Primeau. We're going to be talking about one of the most remarkable pieces of new evidence to surface in the JFK assassination story just in the last couple of years. And Sunshine Week is a particularly appropriate place and time to talk about this because this tape points to the existence of government records related to the assassination that have never been made public. So this is a tape of communications to and from Air Force One, the presidential jet, on November 22nd, 1963.
That's correct. It's like a ground command orchestration between everybody involved after the JFK assassination.
So when you first listened to these tapes, what did you think?
Mind-blowing. Absolutely incredible the way that it was orchestrated. Absolutely incredible the way that it was organized by name and command and the activities that had to be done in order to get the president's body back home after the assassination.
Did you have to clean up these tapes in order to hear things on them?
Yes, yes. One of the most important aspects of what I did, as in any forensic investigation, is to remove as much of the superfluous background noise as possible and bring out the voices in the recording as much as possible using filters and different settings in Adobe Audition. One of the conclusions I arrived at first, which is that both of these reel-to-reels, which was the technology back in the day when these were recorded, are not original recordings.
This is not the original tape.
That's correct.
Where is the original tape?
That's a good question. I'd love for the original tape to surface someday because I'm very curious after listening to the numerous edits in both of the recordings. It would be very interesting to me to determine what was removed.
And so how much has this been edited, this tape?
Well,
how many times was that done, as best you can tell?
More than a dozen, less than 40 on both of the recordings.
So that's more than a dozen occasions where some snippet of conversation or communication has been taken out.
That's correct.
Lots of conversation has been removed.
Yes.
There's no doubt in your mind about that.
No doubt. No doubt at all.
Right. So I think this speaks to the importance of this document is these conversations on November 22nd, in the afternoon of the 22nd, would constitute the real-time reaction of the U.S. government to the assassination of a sitting president. Mm-hmm. And yet we don't have access to those conversations. Is that what your analysis shows?
That's exactly true, Jeff.
And what have you learned from doing this work?
I've learned that there are sections of a conversation that the government had shortly after JFK was assassinated that the government doesn't want us to hear. And I'm not saying that as a negative sense. I'm saying that as I'm very curious as to what portions were removed. And since the second version has surfaced, and it's different than the first version, you have to wonder if there were several generals or several commanders that were involved in determining what portions of which recording we were supposed to hear and which ones we weren't supposed to hear.
So Ed, why don't we take a look and show us how you know exactly where these edits are?
Sure.
What do you use to do this kind of analysis?
I use a state-of-the-art forensic software program created by Adobe. It's called Audition. And what we're looking at here on the screen, this is the sonogram. This shows the noise floor, and what we're seeing here is the sound level of the noise floor in the recording. So I'm going to hit play here in a moment, and what you're going to hear is a consistent noise floor, and then you'll hear the noise floor change dramatically, and then you will hear a word clipped. And it's my opinion, based on using this science, that there is an edit that we will hear right here, and I think everybody will be able to hear what I'm referring to, and then we could go back and take a peek at it in its entirety. This is the noise floor. Tape hiss. Continuous. And then right here is where there is a break in the common rule of this recording. So we have one sound here, we have a different sound here, and we have this absence of signal through here, which is incredibly quiet, which could be made by the magnetism of the razor blade when the tape was cut.
The body will be choppered to the Naval Medical Center at Bethesda. Over. The body will be choppered or will go by ambulance to the Naval Medical Center. Will be choppered. Will be choppered.
Now this is a consistent part of conversation. You can hear a common rule established with regard to tape noise and background noise, and it's very consistent, and the words are consistent. There's no editing within that portion whatsoever.
I find it amazing that this tape has never surfaced, and I think it's very important that it does sometime soon. During Sunshine Week, we talk about the importance of open government and full disclosure, and this historic document that Ed has analyzed for us is one of those things that needs to be made public soon. You can tweet the National Archivist, David Ferrero, and let him know that it's his job to get this tape to the American people now. So if you think that the Air Force One tape should be made public, join us at JFK Facts. We will continue to pursue this investigation by all means possible. But it's not easy and it's not cheap. We need your help.